श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We saw a very important verse yesterday that encompasses the vision of Vedanta. The entire vision of Vedanta is there in that verse. That the difference between what is called Jiva, the complaining, sad individual, and Bhagavan, Ishvara, what is the difference? Only Upadhi. Upadhi is the difference. Upadhi means the container, so to speak. That consciousness, vast, all-pervasive, and without a second, this consciousness is as though conditioned, and we have to put as though in big letters. Consciousness cannot be conditioned, therefore it is as though conditioned by a finite body, a time-bound mind, and senses that don't make sense. This consciousness, obtaining as it were in the individual body-mind-sense complex, is called Jiva, starts to believe in the limitations and as a result suffers. On the other side we have a Upadhi for Ishvara, a finite, limitless Upadhi, and this Upadhi is what? The cause of the universe. The status of the cause of the universe is the Upadhi, and this status is bestowed upon this Brahman because of an as though power, Maya. Maya is a Upadhi for Ishvara in the form of the Shakti to create, in the form of the knowledge of creation, and in the form of the raw materials which are going to come, including space and time. Upadhi is mithya. Mithya doesn't mean non-existent. Mithya doesn't mean false. What does mithya mean? Dependent upon something else. Mithya, dependent upon something else. Satyam, independent. So many things, for example, in the universe are dependent upon sunlight. Whole life is dependent upon sunlight. If the sun were not there, as they say it happened, when baby Hanumanji mistook the sun for an apple and the rising sun, and almost swallowed him, put the rising sun in his mouth. And then everybody suffered. The three worlds were plunged into darkness. You can say, so what? Where is the food going to come from? No, don't worry, I don't eat leaves and all this. I eat animals. Well, what are the animals going to eat? You are either vegetarian or you eat vegetarians. That's all. No other option. You are dependent upon this alone, upon the sun. And so, everything is dependent upon the sun. Prana dependent upon sun, body dependent upon sun for vitamin D, etc. Food is dependent upon the sun. Everything is dependent upon the sun in this example. But the sun is what? Independent. Similarly, Upadhi is dependent upon Ishvara Brahman, consciousness, Satchidananda Atma, Brahmatma. The Upadhi is mithya. Doesn't mean non-existent, doesn't mean false. What does it mean? Dependent. Dependent. So this, if the individual Upadhi is as though body, as though mind, as though senses, which is housing this consciousness, as though housing this consciousness, the collective Upadhi is what? That also has to be as though. The same rules, yatha iha tatha amutra, and how it is at the individual level, so it is at the total level as well. No exceptions to the rule. And if it is the same everywhere, then if the individual Upadhi, you can see, is dependent upon so many factors, the body is dependent upon so many factors, starting with the 5 elements, the mind is also dependent upon so many factors and senses, then the same thing is true on the samashti. At the samashti or the level of the total, the exact same thing is true. And what is that? That also is as though Upadhi. Dependent Upadhi. So Maya is a dependent Upadhi. Dependent upon what, you might ask? The answer is Brahman. Nothing else is there. What else is there to depend upon other than Brahman? So Maya is dependent upon Brahman. And it is good, because otherwise we have a what is that called? A parallel reality. If Maya were to be independent, then you have a parallel reality to God, Ishvara, whatever, and that will cause problems for a philosophy, a body of knowledge that says all is one. And so that's why the verse talking about the Upadhi, the differences are only Upadhi based. And then if you take, for example, pot space, and then what do you take? You take space, unconditioned space and pot space, or you take pot space and huge hall space. Pot space feels bad. If it has a human mind, it will say, it will complain, I'm small, let me out. I want to merge in space. I miss space. You are space. No, I am in the pot. I'm trapped. You are not trapped. Space can never be trapped. No, I'm trapped. I want to be one with big hall space. This is the problem, because taking the Upadhi to be Satyam is the cause of sorrow. And so, some pot guru is not, don't take it literally, not guru who has consumed pot, okay? Yeah. Better take it as pot-bellied guru, better. Yeah. And so that guru has to tell this pot, tell this pot space, you are not confined to the pot. You are free. You are already one with hall space. Hall space again is when you take down the walls of the hall. What is there? Space. So here the Upadhi is cognitively accounted for, and then you you understand how the oneness is talked about through the resolving the equation Tattvamasi. So we start with Tvam, and then What is that? You give the word Tvam a nice beating. Beating? Yes. It's like when you harvest potatoes. You get a bunch of potatoes, and what else do you get with it? Dirt. Exactly. So on the side of the field, you have to beat it to separate the potatoes from the dirt. Same thing we have to do to the word Tvam. All the things that do not belong, meaning all the things that keep changing, all the things that are that come and go, are beaten out of the word Tvam. What remains? Potato. No. What remains? Consciousness, awareness. I know I am. That's what remains. And then you do the same thing on the other side, another harvest. You take and then you beat out of Ishvara what? Ishvaratvam, Ishvarahood, cause of the universe. Does it come and go? Hello? Go drink some coffee. The status of being the cause of the universe, does it come and go? Yes, it does. Because the universe is not always separately manifest. Causality is the upadhi, is part of the upadhi for Ishvara. Causality, the status comes and goes. Repeat that after me. The causal status ascribed to Ishvara comes and goes with every cycle of creation. Okay? Yeah. And so do we take that out of the equation? Yes, you take that out. And then all power, you take that out, because what use is the power if it is not exercised? All laws, the master of the laws, that you take out. The ability to project, sustain, and take back the universe. Does this power come and go? Yes. Hesitating? Yes. Yeah. Yes, it comes and goes. And so what do we do with it? We put it on the side. What is left? Nothing. No. Consciousness. Consciousness is left. And what was left on this side? Consciousness. Consciousness is equal to consciousness. Jiva therefore is equal to Ishvara. Abba. Finally. Something is happening. I am happy. You need a board? Yeah. No, then you will be bored. Yeah. And then, after separating, you can't keep things hanging like that. And then you have to understand, what is this Brahman? Upadhi is Brahman, ... but, complete the sentence. Brahman is not Upadhi. This is what is going to be talked about in the next verse. Let us see. Sakarancha nirakaram Nirgunancha gunatmakam Tattvam tatparamam brahma So then, everything is Brahman. Brahman is not any one thing. Because then how can it be everything? If it becomes one thing, then it cannot be everything. It sustains everything without becoming any one thing. So, then what all is Brahman? Sakaram means anything that has form. Nirakaram, that which is without form. Nirgunam, that which is free of attributes. Gunatmakam, that which is full of attributes. Tattvam tat paramam brahma. The truth, which is Tattvam. We have spent a lot of time talking about the word Tattvam. So Tattvam, the source of it all, the truth of it all, Tattvam is what? Paramam Brahma. The incomparable, the ultimate Brahman. And Tattvam, Tat Brahma Paramam. This is the Ghoshana, the declaration of the drumbeat called Vedanta. The Vedanta drumbeat declares. This is what it declares. Let us see how. The divisions, formed and formless, full of attributes and attribute free. This is all for the sake of identifying something. In the beginning we say consciousness has no form, no attributes. But then what about the universe? Has both form and attributes. And is variegated. Colors, many kinds of colors, many kinds of shapes, forms, sizes, gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, and even if you don't take it strictly as gunas, all other attributes can be included in this. All of them, what are they? They are all what? Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Nothing outside of Brahman. Brahman here is Jagat Karanam Brahma Ishvara. When we talk about Brahman as consciousness, that's a specific meaning. But here we are talking of Brahman as the cause of the universe, which is Ishvara. This is why we can say in the Ishavasya Upanishad and every other place, everything is Bhagavan. Bhagavan doesn't have a location, thank God. Yeah. Otherwise you need a neck massage. For some reason you look up. And not in this tradition, you don't look up. If you go anywhere in rural India, where they haven't heard Vedanta, they don't know much, they haven't studied anything, and you ask them, where is God? You ask them. They will say, where are you from? They will look you up and down and say, first tell, are you from some other planet? Even this much you don't know. Where is Bhagavan not? That is a better question. Where is Ishvara not? And we see this repeatedly being unfolded in each and every Upanishad, without fail. So kamayat bahusyam prajagegeti satapotapyat satapastaptva idagum sarvam asrijat yadidam kincha tatsrishtva tadevanupravishat tadanupravishya satchatyacha bhavat. The creation cosmology in the Taittiriya Upanishad is very beautiful. That is what this mantra is taken from. Very clear. Saha, this Ishvara, or rather we should say Atma, because when you read the whole thing from the context, first it says, Brahmavid apnoti param. The knower of Brahman gains the ultimate. Then of course I want to know, what is this Brahman? Kim tad Brahma? Like this, there is a desire, what is this Brahman? And then to that the answer is given, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This Brahman is defined as Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam. And what is this Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam? Where is it? Where should I look for it? Where should I go? What kind of a PhD I should do? Yahaveda, the one who knows, Nihitam Guhayam, in the cave of the heart. The one who discovers this within oneself, the one who discovers the truth of oneself within oneself, then what happens? Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. That we'll see later, we don't have to worry about that now. Saha Ashnute. That person enjoys, experiences, enjoys what? Sarvan Kaman Brahmana Saha. Enjoys everything in the form of Brahman. Is non-separate from Brahman. Being Brahman enjoys everything because everything is Brahman alone. Being Brahman enjoys everything thoroughly. What does he or she enjoy? All the desires at once. All the desires at once enjoys. Simultaneously. Can we do that? Can we simultaneously enjoy all desires? No. Sometimes it is weird. Yeah. If you want chips and ice cream, can you enjoy, you like both, can you enjoy them at the same time? Really weird. Coffee and chips, can you mix them together and drink? No. So, how to enjoy everything at once? The only way to do that is when the enjoyer and the object of enjoyment are already one. That's the only way to enjoy. As long as there is a separation between the enjoyer, object of enjoyment, and the mode of enjoyment through the sense organs, let us say sight, tongue, etc., then there will always be a separation. If I am the enjoyer, I am not the object. If I am the object, I am not the means of enjoyment. So this triputi, this tripod will always be there. The 3 points of separation will always be there. And what are the 3 points of separation? Object, subject, and means. Subject, object, and means. These are the 3 points of separation. And this is there not only in bhokta, bhogyam, and means of enjoyment, bhoga, and not only that, but it is also there in knower, known, and means of knowing. Knower, known, means of knowing, and then what else? Eater, eaten, and means of eating, means of enjoying. Like this, this triad is there in all our daily activities. The triad is a dependent reality. Brahman transcends these divisions of the enjoyer, enjoyed, and mode of enjoyment. And when I understand I am this Brahman, then being everything, I enjoy everything because nothing is there that does not belong to me. Nothing is there that is other than me. So that is more of a constant enjoyment rather than the inconstant enjoyment based on the sense organs and finite, which are finite, and the sense objects, which are also what? Finite. So in the form of Brahman, understanding one is Brahman, one as it were becomes Brahman, is non-separate from Brahman. Being non-separate from Brahman, one enjoys everything because one is everything. And that is limitless, because if one is everything, one is limitless. That limitlessness alone is the source of enjoyment, not that which is truncated by bhokta, bhogyam, bhoga, jnata, jnanam, jneya, pramata, pramanam, prameya. These are all this threefold distinction in knowing, eating, drinking, everything. In all our daily transactions, this distinction is very much there. And it is negated when you understand that you are not any one small thing, you are the whole. And in this cosmology, in this creation cosmology mantra, This is what is talked about. So Brahmavid apnoti param. And this Brahman you gain. How do you gain? Knowing it as yourself in the heart. Owning it up, you gain this. And as Brahman, everything doesn't just belong to you. Nay, everything is an extension of you. Everything is you. You are not any one thing. And so therefore, this is something just wonderful, because you are free of sorrow, because you are fulfilled all the time. Then suddenly the Upanishad takes a turn. Up till now it had been defining and talking about Brahman, and then it continues, Tasmad vai etasmat atmanah akashas sambhutah. There is a gender bender. Up till now Brahman, neuter. Then suddenly Atma, I. This Brahman is quietly converted into I when no one is looking, and then from me the space has come. The only space I know is when I feel spaced out, and that I can believe. No, this Panchamahabhutas, space, everything has come from me. From this Atma, from this I, space has come, time has come, and everything, all the other elements have come. Food has come, and from the food, this body which is being nourished has also come from this I. So the Atma being masculine, then it is referred to as Saha, pronoun, he. Saha, this Atma, which Atma? Brahmatma. There is no difference between Brahman and Atma. That is the purport of this change. So this Atma, he, only from the standpoint of the grammatical gender of the word Atma. Otherwise there is no he, she. Saha, this Atma, visualized, desired. What was the desire? May I become many. Let me be many. And let me just multiply. The Atma desired. Atma can have desires? Atma cannot have desires. Then what is these desires? The desires actually belong to the Jiva wannabes. Who is a Jiva wannabe? The Jiva that is already non-separate from Ishvara between cycles of creation. In between cycles of creation, what is there? Nothing. Only consciousness. Only consciousness, which is called Ishvara. That's all that is there. And then there is a quickening, like the baby kicking in the mother's womb after 3-4 months of staying there. It makes its presence felt. It says, when am I coming out? What's happening over there? I am responding to you. Yes, I've started to interact. When you do certain things, I can feel it and I express joy by kicking, or I want to connect with you, so I kick. Where is the baby? No baby. It is still in a unmanifest form. But still it is called a quickening. There is a certain quickening. And sometimes this quickening takes some intense forms. Like, for example, the parents of the sage Ashtavakra were students of Vedanta. And then it is said that when the teacher asked a question, the parents gave the wrong answer. And the baby was horrified, and trying to correct the mother, it kicked. And poor thing, the bones were not developed. So there were 8 wrong answers. This is just a belief. And so, therefore, Ashtavakra was born with 8 bends in the body. Yeah, this is just, Vedanta trivia. Back to this discussion. Back to this discussion. I saw people dangerously on the brink of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So I had to break into a story. Okay? Yeah. Wake up. Yeah, the big classroom has some advantages. Hmm. Here there is no escape. So, there is a quickening. The baby is not yet called a baby. It is there. And we pray that everything goes well and it is born properly. But it is making itself known. Let me out. And similarly, the jiva, not yet an entity, not yet jiva, not yet baby, and not yet a complete entity, starts to stir and gets restless. Why? Because there are so little time, so many desires to fulfill. Where did you not even incarnated? Where did you have all these desires? Oh, I just brought something along from the last life. Via the plane called the Sukshma Sharira, via the subtle body, I brought a lot of things. Baggage. And the baggaged jiva, the jiva with baggage, gets a little restless. Kicks. Imagination, okay? Kicks Ishvara. I want to be born. Let me out. I want to see the world. I have all these desires. And so, it's not Ishvara's desires, it's not Atma as Ishvara's desires. Whose desires are they? Jiva's unmanifest desires. But Jiva is yet unmanifest. Where did these desires come from? Last incarnation, the last cycle of creation. But where did those desires come from? Last cycle, the previous cycle of creation. Why? Jiva has no beginning. Ishvara has no beginning. No beginning at all. They say 6 things are anadi. 6 things in the Shastra have no beginning. Now that I have got into this soup, let us see if I can remember all the 6 things. Jiveshau. Okay. Jiva, no beginning. Ishvara, anadi, no beginning. And then Jiveshau, and then only 4 more things I have to remember. And then Ajnanam has no beginning. Abba, only 3 more things now. Jiveshau, Ajnanam, and then 3 other things. To be continued in the next class. I have it written down somewhere. I will quickly go, look it up, and come back in the next class. We'll do with 3 more. Okay? Yeah. For now, these 3 you write. I'll give you the whole verse, in fact. It's a very nice verse. 6 things are called anadi. Because we don't want to get into a soup while discussing where did the desires of the jiva come from. Anadi, no beginning. Desire is beginningless. Yeah, chit is beginningless, consciousness is beginningless, 4 things. Not bad. 2 more I will tell you. Aditya. Avidya I already said. Ajnanam I said. Ajnanam beginningless. The relationship between Ajnanam and chit or something like that. There will be 2 more, don't worry. I will give you the whole verse. It's very nice. You can impress friends at potlucks after you go back. So, that's why it has to be beginningless. Even avidya, ajnanam has to be beginningless. You may say, why can't ajnanam have a beginning? If ajnanam had a beginning, then it would have an end, correct? Then even if it had a beginning, then we would have the question. What would be the question? What happens? What was there before ajnanam? What will you say? Jnanam. If Jnanam was there before Ajnanam, and Jnanam turned sour, and then Jnanam left, Ajnanam came, and what am I doing now? Trying to gain Jnanam. Who will come to Vedanta retreat? Arsha Vidya Gurukulam will gather dust. Because what use of Jnanam which then turns into Ajnanam? What is the motivation to study? This is why Ajnanam cannot have a beginning. And then, so, may I be many, may I multiply. Ishvara did not say, Jivas said. The Jivas said, may I become many, may I multiply, and may I multiply, may I just populate everything. Then this Atma, Brahmatma, Ishvara, contemplated. Ishvara contemplated means what? I contemplate on Ishvara. Who does Ishvara contemplate on? Contemplated means thought about the previous cycle of creation, which was flawless, karmically flawless. Every which way flawless, 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 flawless. Okay? And since it was flawless, then the Ishvara just decided to repeat it. Why change something that is perfect? Same thing here at the Gurukulam also. We have done several anniversaries. So for every anniversary there is a meeting. All the volunteers come and then they are assigned or they take on different responsibilities. This was the best way of distributing food. This is the best way of decorating. This is the best way of directing the people to park in the designated areas. This is the best way of entering and exiting the hall. All this was already decided when? Over the course of the years. So if already things are going well, then there is no need to change. The only thing that needs to be changed is the name of the volunteers year after year. Some new people are there and they have to be put in, some old people leave or go away, and then some new people come. That's all. So Ishvara just fills in the blanks with the names of the new jivas. That's all. New jivas means new iteration, same jivas, same old jiva. Keeping on coming back in new iterations. That's all. So this tapas, this nididhyasanam is actually knowledge. That knowledge which was recollected and then given expression. Idam sarvam asrijata. Created everything. The created means what? Created doesn't mean created. Created means manifested, projected. Out of what? Where is the raw material? None other than oneself is the raw material. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam, the raw material and the intelligence is resting in one conscious being. The whole Jagat was projected. Tat srishtva, having projected the universe, tadeva anupravishat. Entered each and everything. Like what? Like the sweets in India, the Vedantic sweet I talked to you about, Modak. Entered each and everything. Now mind you, it's not like, see, when we make this filled sweets at home, you have to make the filling and then fill that, and then you have to make the dough and then fill that. There is a time lapse. And there is ayasa, effort. Here there is neither ayasa nor kala nor desha. There is a krama, there is an order, all right, but it is an order without kala desha. No kala desha. No time, no space. As it's being created, each thing is being inhabited by the presence of Bhagavan. Ishvara, consciousness, Atma. That's why we can say, where is Bhagavan not? That is a rhetorical question. Because in each and everything, what kind of a thing? Things with form. Sat, things with form. Tyat, things without form. Murta, amurta, things with guna, things without guna. Everything is nothing but Brahman. And that is what is captured by this verse very, very beautifully. Everything is Brahman, but Brahman cannot be any one thing. How is that possible? There is a very nice set of verses which talk about that. Let us see if I can find it. Yeah, 35. Satta spurana saukhyani bhasante sarvavastushu tasmat brahmamayam sarvam iti Vedanta Dindimaha. So how is this? So the recipe, the secret recipe of the filling is being revealed. What are the ingredients that makes the world so sweet, so delicious, so delectable? Can you please share the recipe in its entirety, if we were to say? Why is the world so delicious? Why is the world so attractive? Why does it pull me towards it? What is behind the colors, the forms? What is it that's making it so attractive? And yes, Vedanta retreat after Vedanta retreat, I am told, all this is mithya, it is colorless, it is lifeless, it is finite. All this I am told repeatedly. Yet, I am in love with the world and all the objects. So what is this recipe called the Jagat? The recipe called the Jagat has 5 ingredients. Only 5? Yeah, only 5. 5 ingredients. 2 of them you already know. What are they? Nama, Rupa, name, form, word, meaning. That goes into the Jagat soup, okay? Tasty Jagat soup. Word and meaning, name and form. 2 ingredients we already know. Then there are 3 more ingredients. Here called Satta. We'll see what it is. And if Amazon has it. Okay. Satta. Second one, Spurti. Spurti here is called Spuranam. Same thing. Satta, Spurti, and then Sukha, here called Saukhya. Same thing. Sukhameva Saukhyam. What is the total? How many ingredients? 5. Very good, fantastic. These 5 ingredients are present in every object in the Jagat. This Satta, Spurti, Sukha, SSS, is also called ABP, Asti Bhati Priyam, in Drigdrishya Viveka. There also these 5 ingredients that go into the making of the Jagat are nicely described. Except Satta is equal to Asti, Spurti is equal to Bhati, Priyam is equal to Saukhyam or Sukham. Same thing. Different words. Why? because of the problem of nirvikalpa samadhi. Yeah, heard that, been there. ABP? What's that? That's why different words. Because if all the time we kept saying A for Atma, B for Brahman, C for Chit, D for Dharma, it becomes a lullaby. That's why Yadalpam Tanna Bhuma. Bhuma? What's that? Same thing. Atma is called Bhuma for a change. Because the human mind is very sneaky. And this sneaky human mind gets into an unholy marriage with the ahankara. The I notion which says, I know. Yes, I know Satchidananda very well. Okay, come to class. Let's talk about Asti Bhati Priyam. Oh, okay, that I don't know. I'll come. This is how. So, a very highly celebrated text called the Drigdrishya Viveka says, Asti Bhati Priyam Nama Rupam Etat Panchakam. This fivefold things called Asti, we'll see what all it is, okay? Yeah. Your job is to keep awake, that's all. Yeah. So, don't worry, it'll all come. Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Okay? And then these three, and then Nama, Rupa, Etat, Panchakam, this group of five. Then the Drigdrishya Viveka makes a very nice observation. Says, ABP belongs to what? Brahman. Yes. The first three ingredients of the Jagat soup belong to Brahman. Adyatrayam Brahmarupam belong to know that it is the nature of Brahman. Brahma Swarupameva te. ABP are the Rupa, the Swarupa of Brahman. The Jagat says, I'll also contribute something. What will you contribute? Nama Rupa. Yeah, just a little trimming, that's all. The main ingredients in this Jagat potluck are brought by, the main dishes are brought by what? Brahman. What does the Jagat bring? Coca-Cola. That's all. And it thinks it's the real thing. It's not. It is not at all the real thing, but it advertises itself as the real thing. This is why everyone falls for the Nama Rupa and forgets. Asti Bhati Priyam, Satta, Spurana, Saukhyam. That is the real thing. This is what? Mithya, dependent reality. But the Jagat says, I am also contributing to this. And I am also bringing, it is so difficult, all the names and forms. And what are names and forms? Names and forms we can right now demonstrate and dismiss as non-existent. Pot. What is pot? A word. Yeah, don't go clay. Okay, that's a different that's a different context. What is pot? A word. A word which illuminates in your mind and brings a form. What is that form? A meaning of the word that has been agreed upon by everybody. Pot is just a word with a meaning. That's all it is. That is its reality. Table, word and meaning. Chair, word and meaning. Floor, word and meaning. Ceiling, word and meaning. Walls, word and meaning. Windows, doors, word and meaning. Word and meaning, word and meaning. The whole Jagat, word and meaning, word and meaning. Vacharambadam vikaro namadheyam. Dependent on speech. That's it. The whole Jagat is totally dependent on speech. Speech is dependent upon the mind. Mind is dependent upon awareness, consciousness. So the whole world is dependent upon what? Consciousness. It's demonstrable. Right now you can see this. Word is dependent upon speech. That's all. Vak alambanam or vag arambhanam. It starts with speech. Dependent upon speech. Mrittika ityeva satyam. And then when we now we can go to the other, our usual analysis of pot. When we look at the truth of the words and meanings, we find one reality. Just like when we look at the truth of the word pot, what do we see? Clay. Clay, clay, clay all the way. Where is the clay, you cannot ask. Is it on top of the pot? Is it underneath the pot? Is it on one side of the pot? Where is the clay? Everywhere. In fact, we can't even say a location because the whole entire pot is clay, but clay is not pot. So the Nama Rupa is just words and meanings which are dependent upon my awareness, which is not dependent upon anything else. That's why Nama Rupa are what is called Mithya. They belong to the realm called dependent reality. This is what the Jagat brings. And then the secret ingredients. Secret means we are talking about it, so it's not a secret. Secret means Shrutvapi naveda kaschit. Even after being told, it's a secret. An open secret, because for lack of understanding. So then the first three described here as Satta. Satta. Sat is. Bhu is. Sattayam. As dhatu. You can say Sat or Satta, or you can say Asti is. Simply is. We have done a whole PhD thesis yesterday on the word is. Is. Where even when it's not, it is. The absence of the flower is. So Satta, Asti is. Spuranam. What kind of a is it? Is it a dead is or is it a live is? Huh? Live is. Because the is self-declares itself as I exist. Oh, I never said I exist. Doesn't matter, at least you said I am. That means existence. The word I am, Sat. But the fact that you are aware of it and you can declare it, Chit or Spurti, Spuranam, Bhati, they are all synonyms. They are all synonyms. And we need as many words as there are. Even if we can create new words, they are welcome. Is. And what kind of an is? It is a conscious, alive is. It is not a dead is. When I say pot is, it is, it is not, it is jada. Whereas I am Chetana. Okay? Chetana. So what kind of an is it? It is alive. Spuranam. Spurati. Bhati. Bhati shines. Spurati is alive. Then, if it's conscious and it is the source of all existence, it is the source of all awareness, all knowledge. Then finally what? Saukhyam. It is the only source of happiness, Sukha. And in the ABP model, Asti Bhati Priyam. Priyam is again happiness, but Priyam means beloved. So, Brahman is what? Brahman is. Brahman is conscious. Brahman is an object, subject of love. People studying Vedanta, after a while they say, what do the Shastras say about love? This is what? It's all about love. Moksha is unconditional love. The kind of love for objects, people, etc., what we experience in the world is again truncated, cut off, abridged, punctuated, edited by that triad. Lover, object of love, and the mode of expression of that love. Again, it is experienced in small, small, thimble-full measures of ananda. Everybody in samsara is thimblananda. Yes. Matrameva upajivanti. This ananda, Yajnavalkya tells King Janaka in the Upanishad, Matrameva upajivanti. They just lesha-leshatah, little bit. All the people experience this saukhyam, this happiness as what? In little bits and pieces, truncated by not being the object of experience and being separated from the mode of experience. By just being, having the title of experiencer. This is how they don't get the whole. But the word priyam and saukhyam here causes some problems. Priyam means it's an object of love. Brahman is lovable. Oh, but everything is Brahman? Yes. Cockroach Brahman? Yes. Cockroach is not an object of love. Snake Brahman? Yes. Not the rope snake, that I can handle, but rattlesnake. Rattlesnake is Brahman or not? Yes. Rattlesnake Brahman. And then if rattlesnake is Brahman, I don't like rattlesnake. How do you say it is Priyam? It is Saukhyam. Absence of rattlesnake is beloved. Things are lovable either by their presence or by their absence. Sometimes the same thing that is lovable for the first 6 months after marriage becomes, you can fill in the blanks, becomes lovable after a restraining order. Okay? Stay far away. Stay far away from me. Don't come anywhere near me. Now I am happy. So that is how asti bhati priyam. Bhati means it doesn't need to be known as an object. It is of the nature of knowledge. Priyam, it is lovable either by its presence or by its absence. It is an object of love. Absence of cockroach, absence of annoying people. As Pujya Swamiji used to say, absence of bugs and bugging people is lovable. Is lovable, totally lovable. And that is the secret ingredients in all the Namarupas that shines as the Namarupas. And the secret ingredients are not objects, they are you. And so not knowing that, one falls in love with the Namarupa. The operative word is falls. Yeah. To get up in time for the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.